Hello everybody out there, this is Glenda with Fralins and Friends. Welcome! I really like this guy. He's so bright and tropical and pineapple-y. Earlier this week I was out on the porch and it was so nice. Today it's freezing and snowing and drifting. That's Nebraska for you. If you will remember, a few weeks ago in December, I started this discussion. And so we've gone through part of self-esteem as it relates to our psyche, pretty much. Now I want to go into our self-esteem as it relates to us spiritually. I'm a Christian, and a lot of you that follow me, I think, are too. But whether you are or not, you probably have some kind of spiritual identity. And so I'll be talking about it from the viewpoint of a Christian, and you can figure out if that's not yours, if you're Buddhist, Hindu, or whatever, you can kind of figure that out in your life. But we do live in a country where we can very happily say that we have freedom of religion. We can talk about it, we can pray together, we can meet together, and we can have whichever religion, whichever faith that we want, and the government can't say anything about it because our Bill of Rights, the very first amendment, guarantees us that freedom. Now, it's been challenged a few times by those who call themselves atheists or agnostic. However, to tell you the truth, they should be thankful that they have the right to profess their atheism or agnosticism. So, because that's what the freedom is. They have the right to freely speak about their lack of or their faith in nothing else out there, and they wouldn't have that in some countries. So a lot of places will talk about higher power, and a lot of that comes from the 12-step programs, because it's one. I think I found an AA book in a library or something one time, but you can, well, in fact, even when I was in the hospital, it's like, doing for my depression and stuff, you were supposed to talk about higher power because you might insult somebody. I'm not going to worry about insulting anybody because I've already said you got your right to what you believe. So you put this in your perspective. But that unique freedom is something that a lot of places in the world do not have. There's a lot of places where you can be persecuted just for saying that you're a Christian or for not saying that you are a particular religion. There are places in the world where you are not supposed to have any religion other than the government themselves. So we really should be thankful for that. But what we need to be more thankful for is that no matter where we are, no matter what is the political climate is, or anywhere in the world, is that faith thrives. You cannot get around God. No matter how much the state or the government may dictate that, you cannot get around it. Because each of us has that knowledge within us of something higher and something more powerful than ourselves. And we can deny it. We can deny it, but still we have that part of us that is aware. And in our own self-image, then, what we can do as a Christian, I can have that positive self-image spiritually, because Genesis says that I was created in God's image. In Genesis 1:26 and 27, it talks about how God said, let's create them. Let's create man in our image. And in 27, it talks about how we were created in God's image, male and female, both. So we have that assurance that we are loved. Why create something you're not going to, especially something breathing, that you're not going to love or care about? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that he would. But in the New Testament, it talks about how Jesus died, and that by believing in him and knowing and accepting that he did that for us, then we can then consider ourselves adopted children of God. We are adopted into the family of God. And so that is and then in John 3:16, it says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That's a pretty big gift. So let's have that assurance in our faith, that we are. The only way to have it, though, is to accept that. You can't gain growth from something you can't accept. So, if you can't gain growth from Buddhism if you're not Buddhist, just look into yourself. What do I need to do to better identify myself and my own self-image spiritually? That's one reason why I set the goal of my goal for motivational goals. One of them was to pray every day, is so that I can continue that contact and that connection with God and through Jesus Christ. And so down below in the comments, if you want to share with somebody a little bit of some experience that you've had that lets you know that you have experienced that change in your life, that something that you can attest to or make testament of, that you know that God has worked in your life, if you want to do that. But what I'd like you to do, and don't put in the comments, is to search yourself and determine where your faith lies, and where you feel most secure. We're all different, and so every one of us has a different personality. And we may all believe in the same God and the same word, everything, but we all have our own personal issues, our own individual nature that God works in that space. If I'm saying that right. I'm not saying any of us are different in him, other than that he loves each one of us. And each one of us have our own testimony and our own place in our life where God exists, or where Jesus exists. I hope that's been clearer than mud. So I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to go to the third part of self-esteem that I've been wanting to discuss. I wanted to get through all the definition and how, how we're doing and all that. And then I'm here, now I want to talk about our connectivity, about connections, about connecting with others and with self when it comes to self-esteem and self-image. Because we also need to connect to ourself. And that, we may think we do, but I know there are a lot of times that I haven't really given myself that much time. So I want to discuss that tomorrow, and I got to figure out how I'm going to discuss that tomorrow. But that's why I make notes. So we love you. I love you so much. And I don't know where my days went to. I got all mixed up. I thought today was Thursday. So we'll get this straightened out, and I'll try and get back on track. So pray for me on that score, and we will see you tomorrow. I love you all. Smile and wave at somebody, but don't go out in this blowing snow to do it. Say, smile and wave at somebody and through the comments. Just say, I'm smiling and waving at you. I can't see you, but I'm smiling and waving at you. I've got a joke about something. Oh, it is we had a blizzard up here. Honestly, we did. So I'll see you. God love you.